whisper chanting.
Love embraces me like terrorism on the underground. Immediately, I'm ahistorical, deflected out beyond the image of deceitful ire to passionate redress. What is awful is also epitome for trust in harm. Your baked-on shoulder pads disintegrate the street-level clearing. Get way out now. My past lives mitigate resentment, stealing pony juice from a packy shop around the corner. Your understanding's not to blame here, but your composition is.
Yeah.
Trying to work out how I was murdered by a shitty resolution terror's not collective. As I see it goes on platforming without me, effervescent desire lines those fuckers' naked spirit in the pittance of my stomach. Hardcore time crisis like the blood we dance with daily on a crown of hajis. There slung love's impression but fortified with iron. Can you love me only with your eyes closed? Love embraces me like terrorism.
Oh, good boy.
Ow!
Clap, 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 clap.
I like humans. In a desperate night collecting coins at the artificial, I will fuck you up on MySpace, fam, for real. And the shitty language hovers over life entrenched in life-derided language as to zooming in on the goutte de néant itself. She was screaming as she was carried alive into the heart by passion. It was Norris at the start, his shadow as the dog, translated him into the universal, immediately verstellen my love by the logic of the Google whack black paradox prosonically inverted. A small tin can, some peanut butter, love of words, their numbers, limit casing as before when a telescope is love and the casing. There it was. The perfect breakup song on fire, remunerating bathos to a shitty fungibility in traction. How is the thing counter-revolutionary shtick? By this, an alien incursion as one condition of the general horror, the wasted fear of transmutation bricking it on VHS. Their enemy is whole in every part. They hate that which is becoming perfect. It is the perfectly irreconcilable unknown, and you must blast it, child, especially my child. Communism strikes out of the heart in tatters first, in fractal dialectic love juice terminal. Abhorrence is to grist who was making love an onion, and whom, despite the internet, increasing life, pornography, and hipster death wish, for example, yelling fake in both directions in illimitable, matchless certitude, said, let us knock them out of their heads, and existing reality will collapse, unknowing guilty things, and making newly real the use of internets and song for all mankind, regardless. But how will all of this become achieved? Or any of it? In the future? If to say that we are one smacks of brutal corporate idealism, then who do we smack next? The rich?
Yes.
If I took the accent of disease in Zizek, would anybody give a shit? A critique of violence is useless unless, before death and mother eat me raw, my pants soaked with the intensity of ass blood, liking first my friends when, for example, will the poets need not to beautifully kill themselves on drink to be their optic? This use is final, pure and good, absolutely true. A minute scratched into the cast of an approaching hour. It is not sex, but reciprocal and bloody heartache changes man. If you look in failcore, the beat is clear. Dudes on certain trust still firing each other out with the cannon. The point is this. I have not forgotten Joseph Martin made him into the perfectible abstract occurrence, but made occurrence jaundiced to this mode of mourning in a memory whose composition really sucks.
Yeah.
What on earth is a particular and living point with which to mark, intransigent and clue, the minimal veracity in poems whose naming is, I want this to be nothing less than something all my enemies would hate in blood that is too bourgeois not to bake. a last example, say the ballad of 4.1a on contingency, and the absolute moment in a blissful average slays demons in a car park full of gifts. For the outside detriment, careful to be true, is the nothing and the normal terror, sanctified in the midst of happy drinking, and the absolute and pressing difference of this. Pornography is outside space and counting towards the blessed glyph that makes us more than what could possibly be less. The beer is right, and the night is good, and I do not mean that lightly, or at all, or any way, along the road to love and hocking like a real and bastard synth hook slamming. Where is the song in absolute poetry?